Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this fine Wednesday evening for our live cruise chat. We're excited to have you with us tonight. We've got a very exciting lineup set up for you this evening. We are going to be talking about kind of your cruise planning 101. So Luke is going to take you through the end-to-end process of dreaming through actually stepping on board. And when he does that, he'll talk to you about how do you choose what cruise is best for you, the booking process, how to find your different cruise options and whatnot. So that we can look forward to in just a few short minutes. My name is Karen and I'm joined with Luke, and we've got Rick online as well and Linda behind the scenes as always. So good evening to everybody there. We are Vacations for Canadians, and we are a group of very enthusiastic cruise consultants who are here to help you pick your very favorite vacation. We are very seasoned in this area and have lots of experience behind us. So very, very excited to share that experience with you. You might be seeing that we've got lots of deals posted on our Facebook page. That is one of our main sources of information. Those are kind of like teasers that we post every day, a couple posts per agent, and that tells you what's available, some good hot deals and some inspiration. And then of course there's our website as well, vacationsforcanadians.com. That's where you also will find a self-serve tool that Luke is going to explain a little bit later, where you can find and search for that dream vacation as well. So we are here at your service to help you out in any way, shape, or form that we can, and excited to have you with us on this fine Wednesday. Please say hello and make sure you let us know that you're out there by commenting in the chat. That will also help get your name in a draw. So Linda's got a fantastic prize that she's going to draw later on this evening. And your ballot or your ticket in is by saying hi and letting us know that you're there. So Luke, I am going to turn it over to you, and we will get you chatting about what it means to plan our cruise vacation.
Oops, I guess I went too far. There you go. Well, cruise planning. I think one of the biggest things when going on a cruise is making sure you plan accordingly, make sure there's no gotchas while you're planning, or even just as you're going to head into your cruise or your post-cruise. And we'll just walk you through the process. Again, this is just to give you kind of a foundation on how to do some planning. Also, I'll take you on to our Vacations for Canadian website, do a little bit of search, show you around how to find some deals that we have posted there. And then we'll look at Facebook and kind of give you a highlight of that as well. So let's get diving into our presentation tonight. So planning 101. It's technically the 5 W's. It's the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. So obviously the why is usually the simple one. I just want to get away from the snow. I want to travel the world. I want to go to the Caribbean. I want to do Alaska, a Mediterranean cruise. Obviously that leads into the where. You kind of predefine where you'd like to go. When, usually if we have kids or children, it's usually around the Christmas holidays, March break, the months in the summer. If we don't travel with kids, then we try to avoid those periods of time so that we can actually focus on picking some cruises that that have less children, because usually they're in school. And then there's also the shoulder season. Sometimes you can pick up a great deal. The what is basically, what do you want? What kind of cruise are you looking for? What would you like to do? And the who is, are you just going as a family? Are you going as a couple? Are you putting together a group where you may be booking more than one cabin? So as we walk through this, these are all little things that you ask yourself as you go through the process. All right. Factors to consider while planning your cruise is, are the ports accessible by car? So if you live on the West Coast, you may want to sail out of Vancouver. If you live on the East Coast, like myself, I live just outside of Ottawa. I often will drive to Cape Liberty, New York City, or Baltimore, which I'm doing at the end of October, driving to Baltimore, so I can avoid those flight costs. Obviously, there's a hotel either the night before your cruise or post-cruise if you want to extend your stay in whatever cities you're going to be in. one of the crucial factors, or one of the crucial things, are passport documentation. Each country has a different requirement to enter their country, whether it's by cruise, by flight, or other. It's important to make sure that you talk to your cruise specialist, and we can help you identify what those specific documents are. As part of the cruise, there's also the tours or the excursions that you need to consider or look into, either prior to booking your cruise or after you've booked your cruise. Just prior to sailing, you can look at the different options from an excursion. Then we have drink packages. Some packages do come with a drink package, Wi-Fi package. Some cruise lines don't. It's an add-on. So it's a discussion or a thought whether or not you would like to cruise a la carte, meaning you buy your drinks on demand, or you buy a drink package. That way you don't have to count your drinks to make sure that you don't exceed your budget. And then there's other questions or factors that that may come up over time, and for that you can lean to your cruise specialist to help you answer those questions that may come up as you go through your planning process. Cruise specialists. Well, here at Vacations for Canadians, we have many cruise specialists. Some of them you may have worked with before. So we have Carrie, we have Karen, we have Matt, we have myself, we have Rick, and we have Matt. Matt's currently on a Virgin Voyage cruise as we speak. So reach out to either a current cruise specialist, or if you go to our website, which I can show you in the next slide, on how to access, how to contact a cruise specialist, how to find deals, and so on. All right. Posts and deals. This is where I am going to attempt something we haven't done on our cruise chat, is to move out of the screen and see if we can. All right. Can you guys see my screen? I should be on Vacations for Canadians. Sorry, I can't see faces. So, excellent. Thank you. So here's our Vacations for Canadian website. Here we have a slew of information. So I'm just going to touch on finding a cruise specialist. If you go to About Us and our team, and you scroll down, we're all here. So here's Carrie and her bio, and a link to go to send her an email. There's Jason. Here we have Karen. You can find myself with a little bit of my bio. And then we have Matt. And then we should have Rick. There you go. So that is how you can reach out to one of us as you're picking your cruise specialist, or if you already are working with one and you don't remember what their email address is, you can always come to this page. Now, how do we find deals? Well, here we have a deals tab. And on this deals tab, we'll find cruise deals, hosted cruise, exclusive rates, supplier of the month, meet or beat guarantee, and some extra onboard credit, depending on if you're military and that kind of stuff. We'll look at the cruise deals, for instance. And here we have an excellent tool that can give you a summary of some of the deals that we have posted in our cruise deals for Canadians. And they're also posted here so that you can actually filter on these, because sometimes Facebook may have, it's a bit of a challenge to try to find things. Maybe last week you saw a deal and you're not sure where it ended up. You can actually come here and you can filter. So in this case, if you're looking, let's say, for a cruise during March break, we'll just wait till it refreshes here. And then you're looking for 2025. What you have here is a list of cruise deals that have been posted. Now, if you want to refine this specifically to a specific cruise line, You can actually come here. Let's look at Royal Caribbean, for instance. And what we have here is kind of like a summary based on the filtering you've actually applied. And so just to break this down a little bit further, you'll notice here that this was posted on October 15th, 2024. It's a cruise that sails March 30th to April 10th, 2025. It's an 11-night Southern Caribbean. So we try to give you a bit of a summary. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the read more. If you click on here, you'll notice that it will change the screen. It gives you a bigger image that you would have seen in the cruise deals for Canadian on our Facebook page, as well as the actual graphic itself, and then also the information associated to this cruise. So you'll notice that here's where it's departing from. Here are the port stops. And then we usually put the accommodation, so the category of cabin. So in this case, a 3N for Royal Caribbean is an ocean view. The price is $4,110 Canadian total for 2 adults, which means that total for 2 adults, if you were to book this cruise and the deal is still available, in other words, it hasn't sold out or the category has changed, or not category has changed, but the price may have changed because, as we know, prices with cruises sometimes fluctuate. You'd be able to pay this price and book at whatever the rate that's displayed here. There's no additional fees, no additional cost. Inclusions. This is where we would normally put if this posting or this sale contains any additional inclusions. In this case, this one here has $100, $150 US onboard credit. This month, the month of October, we have a client appreciation month, which means you can earn onboard credit towards your future cruise. If you were to book this cruise, we would calculate what your onboard credit would be. Once final payment has been applied to the cruise that you're on, then you would be able to book another cruise and have that onboard credit attached to that following cruise. Inclusions, as I mentioned earlier, all taxes, port fees are already included. If this was a group rate, it would actually say all taxes, port fees, and group rate included. Again, for October as a client appreciation month, we don't have it on this particular posting, but we don't have any group rate fees this month. So you're saving an additional $120 if you were to book into a group rate, which we will see a little bit further into this presentation. The deposit, this is where we identify if the deposit is refundable or non-refundable, the amount of the deposit, and the balance due, which is, depending on the cruise line, anywhere between 120 days to 90 days prior to sailing. Then ready to book. Typically, the agent that posted this deal usually will put their email address, but also you can reach out if you already have an agent that you're working with Vacations for Canadians. You can easily and without any problems reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed this deal was posted. I'm interested in it. Can you add it to, I'd like to book it and I'd like to move forward. So just because, example, this was one of my postings, that doesn't mean you have to reach out to me. It's important that you reach out to your current Vacations for Canadian cruise agent so that you can continue working with them. If you don't have an agent, then you have the flexibility of picking another agent or reaching out to me, and I would gladly help you book or provide you more information on this booking. Another thing that we like to include is a reminder that travel insurance is important, and that you can also, as part of your booking process, get a quote for travel insurance, as well as there is a link here to all our terms and conditions. I'm going to go back here, and I will go back to, I'm just going to click a back button. So by returning here, then I can actually look at various ones. We usually post, I think it's about 12 or 16 per page, or maybe this one's a little more. And then there's the next page. Now they're not in chronological order. They're just based on the applied filter. And sometimes you just have to do a little more digging. Something else that's under the deals, and also you can actually search by region. So if you were to remove all of these other filters, let's say, and I'm just going to do this just to give you an idea. So I remove all the filters. There's probably an easier way to do this, but let's just do it this way. You can actually say, I want to go to Europe, or I want to do a Western Caribbean or an Eastern Caribbean. When I click on the Eastern Caribbean, regardless of cruise line, regardless of date or year, you have a list of deals that are posted or that are going to be part of the Eastern Caribbean itinerary. And you can search here. And then if you find that there's too many and you would like to just pick one cruise line, you could easily just go and select celebrity, let's say, and this will give you all celebrity deals associated to Eastern Caribbean islands. All right, now let's go back to deals. Let's do hosted cruises. Hosted cruises, these are usually hosted by one of our agents, and also they provide some excellent deals, as well as we're on the ship with you. We do meet and greets. We do various activities on the ship, as well as we have some prizes and gifts and draws and all kinds of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pick one of the ones that I'm actually hosting. So this one here is a Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas, Eastern Caribbean, sailing out of Cape Liberty. In this particular case, I will be driving to the port, so I'm saving myself the flight, and it's hosted by myself. So again, here you click on the link and it provides you more details on the hosted cruise. It has all of the itineraries. It has the prices based on the various cabins, or in this case, we have two different types of balconies and an interior. These are group rates. If you were to go to royalcaribbean.com or .ca and you were to pull these up, the prices that would come up on their website would be much greater than this. So there is a savings, not only from the fact that these are group rates, but also that there's actually additional perks that will be included as part of a hosted cruise that you would normally not get even with a group rate cabin. In this case, what we're including is a meet and greet party, T-shirts. There's our deposit and the $60 refundable group fee, and it shows you the final payment date on this particular information. Now, the meet and greet information is to be determined. This will be updated as we get closer to sailing. Once we're past the final payment, then we'll be able to start securing the different activities, organizing the different activities, and prizes and so on. So this is how you find a hosted cruise. And all of us here usually have a hosted cruise. So this one here is hosted by Matt, a Norwegian Encore in February of next year. There's another one here hosted by Matt, myself. I guess Matt's going on a lot of hosted cruises. And then we have one hosted by Jason. All right, so that's the hosted cruises. Exclusive rates. We have exclusive rates with various cruise lines. Celebrity, Norwegian, we have Royal Caribbean and Princess as well. So what we'll do is I will show you what we have from an exclusive rate perspective. So exclusive rates are basically when we say group rates, these are negotiated rates that we've secured with, in this case, Celebrity Cruise Line. They're negotiated rates based on itinerary, based on ship, based on dates, and our team works diligently that when new schedules or new itineraries come out, we try to secure as many group spaces as we can. We do have access to other group space, but primarily the ones listed here are the ones that are with Vacations for Canadians. Again, here we've given you some filters to kind of help filter some of these exclusive rates or group rates. You can
actually, Luke, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I think your screen has frozen.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, because we can hear you fine, but your screen is still back on the hosted cruise.
Okay, so let me maybe come back here. I'll unshare.
I think you actually just need to switch the tab that you're sharing.
Let me just go back to the screen here. Oh, hosted cruises. Oh yeah, it's still on hosted cruises. Must be my browser that didn't refresh. Oh, you know what? It's when I clicked on exclusive rates. It actually
that worked.
it went to a different page, which was weird. Or a different tab. So I'll take you back to the Celebrity one as I was sharing that information. So here you have Celebrity exclusive rates, some filters. You can search by specific celebrity ships, months out of the year, pick your year, the number of nights, the itinerary. If you want, Alaska, so you could type in Alaska here. And as you type, the filter actually does search based on what you're typing. So if you make a mistake in the wording, it will give you a blank screen. So here, if you look, excuse me, we have some Alaska cruise in 2025. The month, most group space are for 2 passengers, and we provide you with the rate for that particular sailing, that particular cabin category. All right, and the category is actually found. I think we probably scroll here. No, oh yes, the ocean view veranda versus a concierge veranda, and so on. So as you can see here, if you scroll down, you can see all the Alaskan cruise that we have group space for. And if you wanted to look for 2025, oh, this one here, 2025, you'll notice that it's only showing the 2025 sailing in the group space entries. And also you can change to all or 50. In this case, there's less than 50 group rates for Alaska. So that's where you find that information. We also have some extra information here. There's travel insurance. There's pros and cons of cruise tours. There's hotels. Let's say you have a cruise that sails out of Fort Lauderdale. We've pre-negotiated rates with Hyatt Place in Fort Lauderdale. And there's a rate code here. You can actually go through the various screens and kind of do a search, pick your dates, and so on, apply a rate code, and then it would provide you some pricing details, or at least give you some more information with regards to that. So again, there's Miami, there's the Hampton Inn and Fort Lauderdale airport area, and so on. All right. Luxury. We also have luxury deals. There we go. I didn't change tabs this time. Cool. Excellent. So we also have luxury deals here. I'm not as familiar with these. Maybe Rick can navigate us through this if he's still with us. These are luxury deals, which would be Azamara and other cruise lines. We also have river cruise deals as well. All right. Now let's move over to Facebook. So we do have a direct link here on our toolbar at the top. If we click Facebook, it should take us to our Facebook page. Vacations for Canadians. I have a shortcut here. Hopefully, no. I'm going to have to share my, let me go back here. Sorry. Trial and error here with, oh, all right. I'm going to have to share this tab instead. Does that work?
Yep.
It does.
Excellent. All right. So now we're on a cruise deal for Canadian. I'm just going to wait for it to refresh here. We're at the mercy of Facebook. There we are. So on this in this group, we post daily deals, and there's a couple of tricks that you can use to try to find some information. Most people will actually scroll. Here you'll find just more than deals. You'll find special posts that we're promoting, maybe a cruise line's benefits or a sale that they may have, or it could be promoting some of the deals that we have with Vacations for Canadians, such as exclusive rates, or trying to see here if we have it here. I thought I saw it earlier today. Things like our client appreciation perks for the month of October, such as earn onboard credit towards your next cruise, no group fees. So in this case, you can actually just scroll. If you remember you saw a deal this morning, or you want to see the deals of the day, because you're like myself, I look at even posts that are posted by other agents, so I can see what's up there in case I have a client that might be interested in some of these posts. One of the things I really like to do is actually use the recent media. So in this case, I'll click the recent media, and I'm able to scroll through the various, some of them are client pictures, some of them are pictures that our cruise specialists have actually posted. And as you can see here, here's Matt on his Virgin voyage, and some of the people he's come across. And of course, Captain of Fun is right there. He's got his own t-shirt now. And we have clients that have actually posted some of their pictures of their experience of cruises they've booked with us. And here you'll just be able to scroll through and see the various deals, and so on. So my preference, if I'm in here every day, is to look in the middle section of the cruise deals and scroll through the daily deals. Or if I remember I saw something a couple of days ago, you can actually scroll through here and find those deals and find maybe things that are posted by us. Why use Vacations for Canadians? Because we have impressive service. I mean, we bend over backwards to try to please our clients and to provide them with expert experience and so on. So without further ado, I will head back to our stream here, and I will, Linda, can I get you? There you go. So, so here we've covered some of the posts and deals that we post on a regular basis, and which will take us to our next slide, the booking process. So the booking process is you work with your cruise specialist. You can either go to our website and find our booking form, or they can send you a link once you've confirmed with them which cruise you'd like to take. In the booking form, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Put as much information as you can, particularly with some of the upfront details, like what cruise line you're going on, what cruise ship, date, because sometimes, we may be working with a client that may be like yesterday. I had a client that, well, I'm thinking of princess and I'm thinking of celebrity. And at the end of the day, when I got the booking form, I was missing a little bit of information, because at that point I'm going, okay, did she book the celebrity or did she book the princess? So I had to reach back and get her to provide me a little more detail. Booking form is pretty straightforward. Now, once we get the booking form, it's automatic, and it gets assigned to the cruise specialist, or your cruise specialist in this case, and then they can start the process of going into the different tools that we have and getting your reservation booked. Once booked, this information is provided to our cruise admin staff, where your Vacations for Canadian invoice will be created. A copy of that invoice will be sent to you to get approved, to make sure that we haven't done or made a mistake during the booking process with either a typo on date of birth, or that we couldn't find your royalty points or loyalty number, or sometimes it's just a typo on naming convention, and so on. Once that is approved, then you will get an actual final invoice and a request for payment. And so that's basically the fundamental booking process that we have here at Vacations for Canadians. Fairly straightforward, and we try to make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's as we go through the process. And at any point during that process, if you have any questions, your cruise specialist is there to help you navigate through that process. Then you have the experience of once you're on board. Well, once you're on board, you enjoy every moment of it. And what I mean by that is, cruise ships have all kinds of benefits, activities, entertainment, food, and plenty to do on a ship. The other thing too is you can book your next cruise on board. So with Celebrity, for example, you can actually go to the next cruise desk and you can book your cruise online, and then book your cruise with them. And the good news is that once they've submitted that booking on your behalf, it automatically gets transferred to the agent you were working with that got you onto the cruise that you're on now. And there's huge benefits to booking while you're on a cruise. All right. Post-cruise, one of the key things we like to hear and see are people's feedback through our review process, links. We have a Facebook review link. There's a Google review link. You can actually send your reviews directly to the agent itself if you'd like. But we like to hear your experience, both as for myself, for instance. I like to hear reviews from my clients to see if there's anything I could do to improve my experience with them the next time, or that they can provide us an ongoing review of how things went. The second review would be, we like to hear about your experience on given ships, because that information we can actually relate to other clients. If you're on a Sun Princess, for instance, and another client wants to book, then we have that information to say, you know what, we have had previous clients that went on that ship and loved it. They loved the food. They loved the itinerary. Oh, and don't forget, maybe you should go to this a la carte restaurant. It was worth every penny that you may have spent on it. Secondly, post-cruise, if you're anything like myself, if I didn't already book a cruise while I was on the ship, I'm definitely starting to plan my next one. So, obviously planning is important. Again, going back to the beginning, you become an expert in planning cruises or planning vacations as time goes on, but we're here to help you find that next cruise, that next area of the world you'd like to see, and that whole experience. and maybe you cruise by yourself and now you're kind of addicted like myself, and you want to bring other people with you. So you try to, work with your friends to maybe put together a small group cruise for your family or your team, your work co-workers, or whoever you'd like to cruise with. All right. In summary, the pain and the benefits of spending time pre-planning your cruise, working with your cruise agent to answer all those questions, so that when you do cross over and you board the ship on Saturday morning or on Sunday morning to enjoy your cruise, you've done all your due diligence, and now you're just going to throw your suitcase in your room, run to the first bar, grab yourself a margarita, and enjoy the cruise for what benefits they provide, as well as go to your various destinations, walk around, spend time on the different excursions you may have booked. In addition to excursions, if you can book them last minute. You can actually walk onto the ship and decide, we've decided we want to do a specific excursion in Barbados that you weren't sure if you were going to do. You can always book your excursions on the ship itself. So regardless if your destination is a sunny beach somewhere, to enjoy the beach, to enjoy the weather, to get away from Canada and the Canadian winters, or it's taking an adventure to places like Alaska, Norway, or Iceland, or Antarctica. Regardless of where you're going to go, you will enjoy your cruise and take advantage of every minute that it has. And again, just to summarize here, feel free to call either of us travel cruise specialists, and we will help you plan your next cruise. And even if you're booked now and you still have more questions, we're here to help you out. And to that, that covers my portion of tonight's live chat. And I'm going to hand it over back to Karen to take us to the next step.
Thank you, Luke. That was a fantastic overview of the end-to-end process of what to expect, from the idea of, hey, I want to go on a cruise, all the way through to, actually the booking phase. So thank you for walking us through that. I noticed a lot of people were quite interested in the piece around our website. So I think that it's maybe an unknown piece that our clients didn't necessarily know we had, which we've been doing a lot of work on, which we're really quite proud of, where you can do a bit of searching for yourself as well to see what is grabbing your attention. And of course, you can let us know and we'll help you refine it from there. So we're next talking about a very hot destination, literally and figuratively, the Caribbean. So there's lots of different places you can go. And of course, where you have on your bucket list or your dream list will help us to pick the proper cruise for you. And Tina is going to walk us through all those options. Over to you, Tina.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, and you know what? I 100% agree. Sometimes we just take it for granted that everybody knows we have a website and what's on our website. And then when they find out, they just find out this is an amazing tool, that we have so much on there that they can learn so much about our agency and finding our great deals and all the other things that we have added onto the website. Okay, yeah, let me move on. We're going to go to the Caribbean. I did have to put my heat on today. I know that there's going to be a question for Karen, but we actually had our fireplace going. So yeah, I'm not so happy about that. I'm not a fan of the cold weather. Do love the Caribbean. And so I'm just going to break it down. So I know, I know there's a lot of cruisers like me that have cruised to the Caribbean like 1,000 times, but I know there's a lot of people out there that have never even been on a cruise and they really don't know what to expect when they go to the Caribbean. It's quite massive as far as options go for the Caribbean. So I'm going to kind of break it down for you. In the cruising world, we really talk about it as three separate areas. So let me just pop to the next slide here. I do have a few just fun facts about the Caribbean. So there's actually 7,000 islands, but only 2% of them are inhabited. Did I say that right? Inhabited. It's too late, I guess. There are 2 seasons typically for the Caribbean. They don't typically have summer, spring, fall, winter like we do. They really have dry season and rainy season. Dry season would be your typical when most people go to the Caribbean. Rainy season tends to be during hurricane season. Rainy season, I wouldn't overly worry too much about rainy season as far as it's not going to rain all day every day. I found that it's usually just sort of an afternoon shower as far as rainy season goes. And then when you talk about Southern Caribbean, they really don't have a rainy season there. So, but it's a good question to ask the agent, you know, like if whoever you're working with to say like, what's the weather going to be like when I go? You want to go Southern Caribbean in August, they're going to tell you it's going to be really hot. So be prepared. There are a lot of different influences when we talk about the Caribbean. There's been a lot of different cultural groups that have come in and take over control of these islands over the years. So we've got Dutch, French, Spanish, British, African, Creole, lots of different influences on these islands, which makes them really kind of unique. They are home to the second largest coral reef system. I don't think a lot of people know this, but after the Great Barrier Reef, they have the second largest coral reef system. So if you can't get over to Australia to see the Great Barrier Reef, then just head down to the Caribbean. So that whole Belize, Honduras area, fantastic for snorkeling. There's a lot of rum in the Caribbean. 71 brands is what I found today out. There's probably more, but that's what I found. And there's also all kinds of different tequila, and depending on where you go, you're going to find different types of alcohol, but there is a lot down there. And they have 19 active volcanoes. Those are just some fun facts I picked up for you, so you would know a little bit more about it. Here's a map that we created of the regions in the Caribbean. So if you want to get technical, the Caribbean is actually split a little bit differently, but when we talk about cruising, this is how we split the Caribbean. And it's more so just to sort of know which way your ship is headed. So if you can see right under the E in regions, that's coming out of Florida. So that's where the majority of the cruises are starting. Not always, but that's where a lot of them are starting. And anything sort of to the west of that, you would be going towards Honduras, Belize, Grand Cayman, Cozumel, or Mexico. That whole sort of side there is all Western. Then if we want to go to the other way, we go Eastern. And Eastern is St. Thomas, St. Martin, San Juan. Bahamas sometimes gets lumped into that. So it's those islands. And then Southern are typically when you head down to just off the coast there of South America. There we've got Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire. Those are typically what we think of when we say Southern. But the other ones that are also considered Southern, Antigua, Dominica, St. Lucia, Barbados, they're sort of Eastern Southern, but they kind of get lumped into Southern as well. So typically really nice weather-wise. Okay, and it's not to say that your cruise may only do Eastern or may only do Western. A lot of times cruises, especially if they're longer than 7 days, will do more than one. So if you do a 14-day, you might get Eastern and Western. This is just kind of give you an idea. If you don't know the Caribbean, I'm going to give you a little bit of hints of what's in each area, and then you can decide what makes sense for you. So when I think of Western Caribbean, I really think of the Mayan history. So if you if you like to explore and learn, you know, over in Mexico, you can go see the ruins in Tulum, Chichen Itza. There's a lot of lush rainforests in the Western Caribbean, wildlife, zip lining, snorkeling, like I said, with the reef, the coral reef, and the cuisines. I definitely think of jerk chicken and tacos in Mexico. So that's what I think of when I think of Western Caribbean. So just to give you an example of what you might see. So I've done some ruins here in Mexico that you could see, some jerk chicken in Jamaica, Grand Cayman, really known for its beaches, beautiful beaches. And then Honduras, I've put in the coral reef here just to give you an idea of what you might see, the vibrant colors when you do your snorkeling there. Okay, now we're going to move over to the Eastern Caribbean. Now, what do I think of when I think of the Eastern Caribbean? Well, first thing I think of is shopping. There's a lot of duty-free shopping, and it's a great place if you've got that special someone that you want to buy something super fancy for. Definitely take advantage of the Eastern Caribbean duty-free shopping. There is also some historical sites. It is, culturally as well immersive. There's some cool landmarks like in St. Lucia, we've got the Pitons. And then we've got lots of fun water sports. So thrill seekers, jet skiing, parasailing, and snorkeling. One thing that's not on here, but it's actually very true, is the beaches in Eastern Caribbean are absolutely stunning. So just to give you an example, so St. Thomas, I've got a picture here of a diamond. St. Martin, this is Maho Beach, and you can actually lay on the beach and watch the planes come in. And yes, they do come in that close. It's pretty amazing. San Juan is pretty cool. Pretty vibrant colors, and it's really just a very beautiful, beautiful island. And then the Turks and Caicos is also in Eastern, and the beaches are just amazing. Definitely known for the beaches, Eastern Caribbean. Okay, all right, let's move on to Southern Caribbean. What do I think of when I think of Southern? So, like I said, it's, there's some islands that are east, and then there's some islands that are south. They're all kind of considered Southern Caribbean, but ABC Islands for sure. I think of weather. So if you want to get away in February and you want to make sure that your weather is amazing, then you want to go to the ABC Islands. Now, it's going to take you probably more than 7 days to get there and back. It might take you 8, 9, 10, 11, but you're going to get the best weather. And when I say that, I just mean, if you go to Bahamas, very similar to Florida weather, and it's going to be obviously better than Canada, but there are some risks still that it might not be shorts weather, or it might be too cold to swim. So Southern Caribbean is a great option when you're talking about right in the middle of winter when it's the coldest. Beautiful landscapes. Again, there's lots of snorkeling over in Southern Caribbean. There's some great nightlife, and the architecture is beautiful. If you think of some of the Southern Antilles, the ABC Islands, and beautiful beaches as well. So there at the top there, you've got a picture of Aruba with the beaches. And then love those trees in Aruba. They're just stunning the way they're all facing the same way from the winds. Curacao, that's some of the beautiful houses that you can see there. The architecture is absolutely stunning. As I mentioned already, St. Lucia with the Pitons, and Barbados just with the fun cultural, the culture that happens there. So, and some of the nightlife. All right, so that's all I have for the Caribbean. Hopefully that helps you know where you want to go, and or maybe you want to try all of them. Like, really, there's some great things in all of the Caribbean.
Thank you, Tina. Yes, it's a great overview, and it's so interesting because it is so different, isn't it? If you want to go to the Mexico side of things, it's very different than South, and great overview and helping to educate us as to where we want to go next. They're all beautiful. You can't go wrong and make a bad choice, but it's always good to, if you've got a few places in mind that you'd like to hit on your wish list. So thank you for that. So now we will start our Q&A. I'm not sure if we've got any questions lined up. Linda, is there any questions that we have from our group?
You know what? It is a quiet group tonight. They don't have a lot of questions. I guess we've been very detailed in our presentations and answered everyone's questions. Just Brian wanted to know about if we have the heat turned on, and I think Tina answered that. And I know here we've turned our furnace on, and everybody's nodding yes. Yes, we're all cold and dreaming of going to the Caribbean right at this point, I think.
Exactly.
Yes, we have to trade our flip-flops for socks, and I'm not happy about that. That's a tough transition this time of year, but
just the socks with the flip-flops. That's what I do.
I don't do that. I won't do that.
So we do actually have some questions popping in now. Just had to warm the crowd up a little bit. So the first question comes from Manisha, and they ask, what do you recommend for a family of 5 in terms of rooms?
That's a great question.
Anybody want to take that?
So I can give my opinion on that, and I'd love to hear from the other agents as well. So I guess it depends on the age of the 5 people. So if you're looking at maybe teenagers, you might want to break up your group into 2 and 3 because it gives you 2 bathrooms and 2 spaces for luggage and all the stuff that you need to travel with. So that's always one thing I would think about. If you've got smaller children, then you might want to look for a cabin that will accommodate 5. And there are cruise lines that will. There's certainly some great options for you, some family friendly choices. They are fewer and further between those, so you definitely want to make sure you're booking early if you're looking for a cabin for 5, because the quad and the 5 passenger cabins are harder to get to and they book up quickly. So if that's what you've got in mind, there certainly are options. You can do interior. Norwegian Cruise Line has some great options. We've got Royal Caribbean also comes to mind of having some cabins that would work for 5 passengers. But definitely get in touch with us early so we can source this up for you.
Can I just add to that, Karen?
Please.
So if you do take 2 cabins, as Karen suggested, was a great idea, just make sure you have, unless the cabins are right beside each other, make sure there's an adult 21 years or older in each cabin.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave the kids to rule the roost when they're young.
Yeah, another option is if you book early enough. Many cruise lines, many ships accommodate connecting cabins or connected cabins. They do go fairly quickly because there are families that would like to have, a cabin for the 2 parents, and then they put their children, which I've done in the past, put our kids in a separate cabin. But we weren't comfortable without having that connected room, almost like a hotel room where you can open the door between the 2. That's an option. And again, to Rick's point, if your kids are old enough, you can take a balcony suite, put your kids across the hall, and then inside. That's another option as well.
Great. So we're going to move on to Julia, because one Julia is not enough. We like 2. Julia is wondering if there are advantages to one cruise line over another.
That's another great question. So I think it depends on what you're looking for. So if you're looking for an adults only vacation, there are certain cruise lines that we're going to recommend for you. And there's certain that we're not going to recommend for you. If you're looking for family friendly, if you're looking for certain destinations, there's certain cruise lines that would be maybe top of mind for that really zone in really well with those different itineraries. So it really depends on what you're after and what kind of vacation you're looking for. So if it's like a perks with the perks, then there's certain ones that we would recommend. Or like I said, depending upon the age and where you want to go and what time of year you want to sail. So we can help you sort that through based on what you're preferring at the time.
Anyone else have any insights on that, or are we moving along?
I think every individual is a little different. So it depends. Like for myself, I love the Oasis class ships. Even though I just travel with my wife, there's many benefits to Oasis class ships, even though they cater to kids. They have kids clubs and a whole bunch of different things. They also cater to adults only, or not only, but in this case, we travel as adults only. But then again, there's celebrity, there's all kinds of options. At the end of the day, it depends what you want from ship activities and what the ship has to offer. And to Karen's point, do you want a cruise, which is almost like an all-inclusive, where it includes the drink package and Wi-Fi? Some of them are a little better at providing that up front, such as Celebrity and Princess. But if you want the a la carte type of cruise, well, then Royal Caribbean's a better option. But again, it all depends on what each individual preferences are.
Great. Thanks, Luke. And that leads into another question here. What cruise lines are all inclusive?
I think each one of them has their benefits. All inclusive is you can't compare an all inclusive resort to an all inclusive cruise. There are factors that a cruise will give you more of, and all inclusives will give you more of other things. All inclusive if you look at Celebrity that I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, they provide you with a classic drink package and your Wi-Fi included if you get into a group rate or you get the all perks included. If you go with Princess, if we find you a deal that has the Princess Plus package attached to that sailing or that group or that rate, then you benefit from drink package, Wi-Fi, gratuities, and some other perks that come with Princess. So, but in the same token, an all-inclusive, the entertainment's not the same. It's not the same caliber as the entertainment you'll get on the ship. So there's pros and cons of each going on cruise versus an all-inclusive. But you can definitely find itineraries, ships, and packages that will cater more towards the all-inclusive versus the basic cruise fare.
Great. And we are going to just take a little moment to do our draw, being cognizant of the time, in case anybody has to go. So I'm just going to share my screen. As always, if it comes up with one of our names, we will choose again. But hopefully it'll be one of you first. Hey, Brian, congratulations. I'm going to put my email address. Oh, sorry, he won a mouse pad. It was a mouse pad tonight. So Vacations for Canadians mouse pad. So I'm going to put my email into the chat and you can just send me your mailing address and your phone number and we'll get that out to you.
Okay. All right. So I will continue. Oh, Brian says, what happened? All right. Well, Brian, we just had our draw. Linda wanted to get it in before 8 o'clock in case anybody wanted to jump off. And you won. So Linda just popped her information there into the chat. So just send her an email with your name and address and we will get that gift out to you. And I will just continue here with the questions. Okay, so here we have a question. Where should I go for a back-to-back?
Can I take
Here,
that?
you know what? I'll go first and then you can jump in. I think it was last week or the week before I talked about transatlantics and transcanal and that kind of stuff. So a perfect option for that is to take, you can leave, let's say, from Miami, take a transatlantic into, let's say, Southampton, England, and then you can do a back-to-back on the same ship and do the next leg, which could be an Iceland or a British Isles or Mediterranean cruise. But you can those are kind of examples of how you could do things, because then you get to do a transatlantic and then you can do various ports of call depending on the kind of itineraries you have, Mediterranean, or you could actually do the reverse. So when the ship leaves Europe, you could actually do your take up their last cruise, and then you piggyback on their transatlantic back to North America. So then, you're flying home from, let's say, Fort Lauderdale or Cape Liberty and so on. So that's one option.
Yep. Rick, do you want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I just want to add, you can do virtually back-to-back with any combination of cruise lines. I have one customer who did a Princess crossing transatlantic and then a Cunard once they were on the other side. But there's one cruise line that offers you a discount. A Celebrity, you can get a discount on each of the 2 cruises, or 3 or 4, if you have back-to-back, 1 day in between, up to 3 days in between. Celebrity will give you a discount on each of the cruises. So that's something.
There's actually another cruise line that gives onboard credit for back-to-back.
Azamara.
Yes.
Azamara. That's right.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Any cruises that don't have the same itinerary twice in a row, back-to-back all the time. Love it.
That's right.
Okay, next question. Have you heard if Royal and Celebrity will be sharing points? So if I sail on Royal, will they transfer to Celebrity?
No, they don't. They won't transfer. They'll do status match. So if you're high in Celebrity and you want to take a Royal cruise, whatever status you have in Celebrity will apply on your Royal cruise.
You still have to build your own points within the cruise line.
Correct.
Okay. Julia, if we prefer more adult only, what are the best cruise options? We've done Princess and Holland America. Princess was good. Princess, the good was wanting. Holland America was great food, but crowd was much older. We are interested in more adult versus family and kids.
Well, that one's pretty easy. The Virgin is offering the 18 and older crowd only. So no kids can be on that.
Yeah.
Unless you're a 21-year-old kid, you know.
Yeah.
But,
I do think Celebrity is another good option, as long as you don't pick a short sailing.
Yeah.
Like if you the longer the sailing and doing it during school, when the kids are in school, you'll find there won't be many kids on Celebrity as well.
Yeah, I was just on a Celebrity Beyond a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, very few kids, very few.
Okay, Brian, is there a way to see the particular cabins available on your website? We are fussy on where our cabins are located.
Brian, just let me know what you're looking for and we'll find it for you. It's, there's not a specific spot where you can find it on the website, but we've got our secret sources that we can see what's available and find you the best cabin on the ship.
Yeah. Okay. That is all we have for questions, unless somebody pops something in there in the next 5 seconds. I think we are done. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. And remember, we're here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So hop on by. All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks for joining. Good night.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye, everyone.